Now, what happens, because I'm sure this has happened to me, and it's possibly happening to other people listening, where you're receiving messages, but you don't necessarily know who they're from.
Doesn't matter. Because remember now, we humans have this need to live in duality. Well, is it you or is it you? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it, but they're all one. God is love. Our loved ones in spirit are one with God. We don't need to make a distinction. A priest told me, when he found out about what was happening to me, he said, Jamie, what you're saying is so brilliant here. What Jean is revealing to the world is so brilliant because we have found in very, very old primitive people's grave sites that they were worshiping their loved ones as God because they intuitively knew they were one with God. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As you get better, you will discern better who is speaking to you. But again, it doesn't matter. You just talk and let the love come through.
Yeah. I know I had a long run of animals. I still am sort of a nature lover, and it'll be an animal, a bird, coming to the window type of thing. I live on an island in Washington State. Peacocks are not our natural birds here. And there was one morning I was sitting in my kitchen and I hear like a knock at my door, and I'm looking, I can see out the window, there's nothing there, but I got up, I go, okay, something's out there. I open my door to a peacock sitting at my door, and she's tapping on the storm door, the outer screen. And I looked at her and I went, well, hello, what are you doing here? And she just looked at me and walked away. I went, okay.
Right.
I never did figure out what did she want. She hung around a while.
Now with Love Never Dies, you'll see I do a lot of examples of how you can dialogue back and forth with your loved ones with the help of animals, as I said, who are open vessels, because as I show, you can say to the animal, if you agree with me, Jean, or whoever your loved one is, open your beak once for yes, and they will.
Great idea.
And I have many examples of this in Love Never Dies, where I say, and Jean, I showed Jean my energetic communications. In part 2, I tell the stories about this, that I was already preparing for our energetic communication because I discovered I could talk to domestic and wild animals before he left his body, and I recount those examples in part 2 of Love Never Dies, and then I show how I just continued doing it once Jean left his body, and then I just used the animals as the open vessel. Jean, do you agree? Have the bird open his beak once.
That's amazing. I got to tell you, this has never happened during an interview, but every time you open your mouth, your sound is getting all messed up, as if there's a message behind the message that you're talking.
Oh my gosh, you can't believe how many interviewers.
It's happening right now.
Do you know that 3 interviewers last week told me after I speak, they hear a man's voice speaking.
This is just like if you were underwater speaking.
And of course, my audio is perfect. My speed is perfect, and it's a crystal clear connection.
And you're hearing it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
But I'm hearing you underwater.
It's what he does because his presence interrupts the electronic frequencies and signals. But 3 hosts told me, is there a man in the room with you?
Of course there is. Now, do you think, Jamie, that when we think about our loved ones, when we feel that love that we had with them after they've passed, that we have called them to us, or that we're really feeling their proximity to us, perhaps?
Well, I'm not getting the question. Tell me.
So, sometimes for no reason, somebody will pop into my mind, whether it's my mom who's passed or somebody like that. And then you just sort of feel this warmth or this, love energy around you, even though you're not seeing anything or knowing anything. But would you consider that to be a connection?
Oh yeah. That's remember now, whenever I ask people, what do you feel? One of the things I'm doing on Dance Radio, which is so amazing, is I'm putting everybody listening into a trance and then having them dialogue with their love spirit. And invariably, one of the first things they say when they feel the presence of their loved ones is incredible love, unearthly love. So because that's all we are in spirit, we're love. So when you feel something popping into your mind, a thought, an image, a person, and then it's accompanied by love, That's that loved one. Yes, yes.
Yeah, nice. So tell us a little bit more about bring us up to date. What's going on now in your life? You've written this book, you've written several other books too,
Well, but all the other books were before this.
okay, so this is the most recent one. And you have, now in your book, you refer to your ministry, yours and Jean's ministry. And I'm assuming that is the talks and so forth that you're doing around the book. Is that right? Or is there something bigger planned here?
The ministry is the book, just telling our story and having people begin their own reconnection and their own healing. Yeah.
And that was the other thing I wanted to ask you about, is that how interesting it is that you asked him to help you with this. And that opens up the doorway, I think, to us getting help from the other side in the bigger problems that we are all experiencing. And he has been with you all through this adventure and helped guide you. Is that right?
Really, because where would I go, Jamie? There's nowhere else to go. Death is an illusion.
Yeah.
There's a very thin veil between the realm where you are and the realm where I am. The veil is thinner than you can ever imagine. I'm standing right here. These are his words. These are your loved one's words.
You just don't see him physically.
No, I don't, but very few psychic mediums actually see. You know, we hear, and we don't hear a voice either. We get a thought, an image, a mind melding, a scent. We get messages that come through open vessels, human and animal. We get messages through earthly props, electronic devices. You know, and again, Love Never Dies shows you all the ways to open up all your senses, so you're a tuning fork to get those messages and send them back.
So if people want to talk to you more, you do one-on-one sessions, or now you're a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or
I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a PhD in psych. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so do you see clients for those purposes, or are you pretty much seeing people to help them with their issues around death and grieving?
I do anything you need. You see, you know, and invariably, you know, you might come in for one problem, you know, because I'm Dr. Love. You know, my first Hales book, Kiss Your Fights Goodbye, presents my proven conflict resolution method. Well, now we're bringing my conflict resolution method to the world of after-death communication. So I help you with your relationship with yourself, family, friends, loved ones, partners, spouses, and also with someone in spirit. It's all a continuum.
Right. And then people can get your book, Love Never Dies. I love the cover, by the way. It's beautiful.
Beautiful job. Hayes did a great job. And you know, when you come to AskDrLove.com and you sign up for my free newsletter, you'll immediately get the preface and the intro of the book. And a lot of people are doing that because they can't wait to get the book in the mail. So they just get started. And by the time you've read the preface and the intro, the book will have arrived.
Yeah, it's a beautifully written book, and I think you share from the depths of your despair in the death in the beginning to the beauty of what there is to look forward to as your relationship with him continues. But I just want to find out, because, you know, inquiring mind, I'm a Gemini, gotta know, do you have a physical man in your life now that you have another relationship with?
No, I don't. You know, I'm open to it, but the thing is, I'm a very picky person. I'm a very picky person, and so I'm very particular in the kind of person who would be right for me. So, you know, I'm open, but it's not very, very easy. You know, I live in the country. You know, it's a very secluded area, married couples. You obviously can't socialize with your patients. So it hasn't been in the cards for me to meet someone, you know, at least not yet. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and so I look forward to that perhaps someday occurring, and then another book around how that plays out in your life, with the love of your life still in your life. See, that part weirds me out, and I bet it would weird other people out too, thinking about having, you know, a full-on relationship in the physical with a man while your deceased husband is still with you.
I don't think so, because, we have to accept the differences in our relationships. Like,
True.
as Jean said, we're newlyweds in the spiritual phase of our relationship. So the spiritual phase does not involve a physical relationship. So our loved ones in spirit do want us to experience life fully and have squeeze every drop of the lemon of life. So, if this were the case, Jean wouldn't mind me having a physical relationship, because he can't do it for me no more.
But then I wonder, he would have to be a special sort of man to also accept that this other part of you is still connected.
I think, yes, I think that, the person would have to be very spiritually evolved and understand, but it's really the same as, I have a child, and the child's in spirit, and I still love the child, and I still talk the child. Well, that we love lots of people,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And if love truly never dies, which I believe, like you do, that is the truth.
We don't die. It's literally, It's not just the love in our hearts. We don't die. We just convert to another form, like water converts to ice, to steam, to vapor. They're just in another form.
Right. Well, and there's a very scientific piece of that as well, because, one of the laws of thermodynamics, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
We're definitely energy. As an astrologer, I do human design astrology, and a lot of that is all based on quantum physics, how we interact with each other on an energetic level, from the quantum level.
Yes, and the latest quantum physicists are talking about the holographic model and how it explains what I'm experiencing with Jean and what everyone else can experience with their loved ones. And I'm adding that to part 2 of Love Never Dies. It's going to be coming out in paperback form in the end of August. So the book will be less expensive, Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today? Any final words?
Just you can allow the mystery to unfold by not believing everything you've been told. Open the door of your heart and just let the mystery begin. Let the healing begin.
And the last thing, how can they find you? Your website is askdrlove.com.
askdrlove.com. No periods, no spaces. You can find out everything there about my Ask Dr. Love radio show, my Hay House radio show. You can sign up for my newsletter. Everything you need is there.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much for joining us today, and I've really enjoyed our talk. I loved your book, and I'm going to go practice talking to some of my departed loved ones.
Great.
I don't think I have to practice. I think they've already been here.
Well, they're here. They come to you through the birds. So now all you need to do is just allow the birds to sit with you, and then use them as your open vessel to dialogue back and forth.
You got it.
That's really a natural way for you. Yes.
All right.
Nice seeing you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.